Hi, my name is Sam Orju and I'm with the Western Michigan College of Aviation Maintenance. And today we're going to be looking at our SPCT100A Sparkplug Cleaner, and we're going to be servicing the spark plugs on our 172, which has an IO360.
Anyways, getting started servicing our spark plugs. First thing we're going to do is put our PPE on. I have my safety glasses on, and I have some gloves just for added protection. Just school policy and industry standard. Our abrasive compound, we have the Champion compound here. You can buy a lot of these at Aircraft Tool Supply. We have our Champion compound just because we're servicing Champion plugs on our IO360. You have your spark plug holder, which is included in the new box. This is our own for our own purposes, just stays with this airplane. We have our electrodes right here to put inside the spark plug to test. We have our 12, 14, and 18 millimeter spark plug adapters for the testing chamber. This is what the school does. This isn't included with anything Aircraft Tool Supply does. We have our own spark plug gaskets, copper gaskets that we're going to use to seal off the chamber. And then we have our wire brush right here just to look at threads when we're done taking it out of the cleaning / blaster. Anyways, moving around back to start setting up our plugs. We're going to connect our air line here. It's not connected yet. We're going to connect our power here. I've already connected it. You're going to have to make sure that you're on the right voltage setting. We're on 110 volt, which is what we have at the wall. And you're going to use your on-off toggle switch right here to turn it on and off. I'm just going to get started here by pouring our abrasive compound in. A few things you need to know. With the new machine, you're going to need to put the whole 1 pound bag in, and it's just suggested by the Aircraft Tool Supply manual that you do that. And then with the old machine, or a used one that we've been using for a while, there is the 2-layer filter bag inside of there. We've emptied it and we've cleaned it and aired, brushed all the dust out of it. And we're going to go ahead and pour our 1 pound bag in anyway, so we get fresh abrasive compound to do these spark plugs, make them nice and clean. Pour the abrasive compound in. Now we're just going to go ahead and take the spark plugs out for the Champion plugs. We've got the 3/4 wrench for the actual spark plug. Now we've got the 7/16 for the B-nut. And you're going to want to be really careful with the plugs. Just make sure you're holding the B-nut still while you're turning the spark plug. Make sure not to ruin the lead or anything. Of course, these airplanes are for instructional purposes, but we should treat them like they're airworthy. But they are a little bit messed up on the leads. Just want to be careful for your actual airworthy airplanes that you're not damaging anything. I mentioned before I get started is to ensure you're not damaging the spark plugs, you're going to want to use a spark plug socket. We have this really nice one, has a magnetic end in the back, just so we're not dropping them when we take them out or anything. And you're just going to want to ensure full coverage on the spark plug. And make sure you get a good clean uninstall, because otherwise you don't want to pay for a new spark plug or anything like that. So now we're ready with the spark plugs. We've inspected them, cleaned them, everything like that. We're just going to use this blast cleaner and air cleaner to make sure all the gunk and oil is really out of it before we put them back in the airplane. Then we're going to move on to the vacuum chamber test right here. And we're going to put plugs in and then use this mirror to test if we have a good spark or not. So what you're going to do to start off, just grab a plug and per the Aircraft Tool Supply manual, put it in by twisting it. Slight push down should be easily in this gasket right here, a good seal. The turret has an adapter that slides up and down, so we can put a little attachment, which is going to be electrode in this case. We're going to slide it in there. And we're going to place the turret inside right here with this electrode. And then what we're going to do is we're going to blast it for 10 seconds or 1 full rotation, and then we're going to air clean it for 10 seconds or 1 full rotation. And per Aircraft Tool Supply, it's important that we don't do 10 seconds. We don't do more than 10 seconds, just to prevent over abrasiveness, over cleaning anything, so we're getting a really good clean without actually damaging the spark plug or removing life from it. So with this spark plug, we're going to go ahead and blast clean it for 1 full rotation. And then we're going to go ahead and do the air cleaner for 1 full rotation. All right, awesome. We're just going to remove this. Little twist to get it out. Electrode down. And then we're going to see we have an excellent clean. Threads have some abrasive compound in it. That's okay. We have our wire brush. Of course, they're properly gapped. We're just making sure there's no oil or gunk left in them that could possibly destroy our spark plugs or foul them up in any way. We're gonna go ahead and do these for the rest of the 4 of the tops, and then we're gonna do them in pairs on the vacuum chamber, just make sure we have a good spark. I just wanted to point out before we do the rest, you can see the amazing difference that the SPCT100A does for these plugs. These 2 have been hit with the abrasive compound and air cleaner. These 2 haven't. You can see that the electrode is free and clear of any oil or fouling. Threads look great. And on these, we haven't serviced them yet, still fouled up, still a little bit dark in color. And so we're gonna finish that and then put these on the vacuum chamber. All right, all these plugs are good. We're gonna make sure they're nice and clean. The abrasive did a great job of cleaning all that fouling off. And then we're just gonna use our wire brush and clean out the threads from any dust so they fit nicely into the thread adapters right here. And then hit them with the spark tester right here and just make sure that we have good spark before we reinstall them in our aircraft. All right, cool, so we've got 2 plugs here on the pressure chamber test. And per the aircraft tool supply manual, we're gonna wanna get them within the yellow range here, which is 7 to 10 kilograms per centimeter squared, about 100 to 150 PSI. Some air systems may not allow that high, but you need to get as close as you can to this yellow arc, just so we can simulate the conditions inside the cylinder at spark so we can actually see if we have good spark at those conditions. We're gonna do this by using our electrode, placing it inside one of the spark plugs, and we're gonna be very careful with this positive electrode. We're gonna place it on the tip with the alligator clip. We're gonna open up pressure. And you see we have good pressure. That's going to be within the yellow. We're going to leave it there. There might be a little bit of a leak, just a little gasket deficiency or whatever. Just make sure we're inside the range here. And we're going to test this plug. As you can see, using the mirror, we have a good spark. It looks nice and white. It's not like trickling anywhere. It doesn't look like a bunch of dots. It's a good solid spark. And you're not going to want to test these for more than 10 seconds just to prevent damage to the spark plug or the tester or anything as per the aircraft tool supply manual. So we're going to go ahead, move this electrode assembly over here. And looks to me like we've got a good spark. It's a little bit unhealthy due to the flickering you can see, and there's a little bit of noise. I don't know if you can hear it. But for the instructional purposes, we're gonna pass it right now, but normally this might be worth taking a look at later. Anyways, we're gonna do these for the next 2 plugs. Put them back on the holder, and then we're going to reinstall. My torque wrench here dialed in at 420 inch-pounds as per Lycoming's service manual. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the spark plugs with this spark plug socket, and we're just going to make sure we're not damaging anything. Then we're going to go ahead and put the leads on as per maintenance manual. One thing I did want to point out before installation is we need to put about a little ring of anti-seize around the plugs, and I'm going to say on these plugs, about the 3rd thread down, we need to put a nice solid ring of anti-seize around them. Anyways, installing the leads, we're going to put the lead on, and we're going to install until finger tight. And then, because we have champion plugs, we're doing it per the champion manual. We are going to turn it another 1/8 turn, and that should be it to install. And here we go. One-eighth turn. We're all good. We're gonna do that on the rest of the 4, and that should be it. Anyways, I really like this machine. Helps us a lot, speeding up the process, making it standardized. We can simulate the conditions inside the cylinder at spark, which is great. It includes all the tools. Got the abrasive compound here. It's great. Anyways, yeah, thank you Aircraft Tool Supply for a great tool. And like I said, they make support and compounds and anything else you can think of for this kind of work at Aircraft Tool Supply. So anyways, thank you for watching and safe flying.